Hey guys, Luna here, and welcome back to Long Live the Queen. Let's just get right back into it, shall we? We're in week 21, and I'm just gonna... What skill do I want to focus on? Let's see here. I don't really necessarily want to do expression, maybe... Maybe I guess I'll just do military strategy. Or no, I could do intrigue. I feel like intrigue could be useful. I don't know. I feel it. I'll do strategy because I feel like strategy is gonna help me in the long run. My lady, there is a letter for you. Who sent this? It isn't signed. Appears to be a poem describing you in a manner that is entirely inappropriate for a queen. What? With a squid? That's hilarious. It's actually pretty funny. Just then, an incredibly unlucky breeze swirls between the windows of your tower bedroom, tugging at the papers out of your hands and out into the sky. You stick your head out of the window to discover the poem caught and fluttering on the roof nearby. You can almost reach it. Ignore it. What's the worst can happen? It blows off and someone reads it and laughs at you? That's better than breaking your neck. Besides, if you're lucky, it'll rain and wash the words away. There's something I don't understand. What concerns you? Magical powers are connected to lumen crystals, right? For the most part, that's true. However, the gods work in mysterious ways. It just, when I'm meditating, I can make myself glow, and it doesn't feel like it uses the crystal at all. Yes, I've noticed. It's an echo of your potential, nothing more. A trace of your powers that were always destined for you engraved in your body at birth. So this has happened before? Not in centuries, no, or if it has, it's not recorded. But it's a natural occurrence, to be sure of that. Don't be afraid, the gods have marked you for their purposes. Maybe it has something to do with my mother being a lumen? Could Charlotte have powers too? Interesting. I guess I'll do... naval strategies, I guess? Just so that way I can max these out. I regret to inform you that Fable of the Earl of Tyne and Duke Regent has passed away. I expected that was coming. With the control of Lanley in doubt, it falls to the crown to make decision. Young Aldea will not reach its 15th birthday for over 2 years. It requires a regent. His stepmother, Aracy, the Duchess of Flania, has petitioned for that boy to left in her care. This would, however, leave her in personal control of 2 neighboring duchesses, which is generally forbidden. Not to mention she is closely related to the Duchess of Mead and the Duchess of Regal. She controls almost the entire eastern half of Nova. People already call her Nova's other queen. I don't really know anything bad about her, though. The boy does have a living grandfather, the Earl of Ishtar, or he might appoint an unrelated noble to act in her seed. The Earl of Ishtar suggests another possibility. You and Alar are both young, not too far apart in age. He requests that we keep the boy as your future husband and keep him here at the castle. I talked to the late regent at the gala about what he wanted for his son's future. He said that Adair should stay with either his stepmother or his stepsister. Aline would be less politically dangerous choice. He also said definitely not to give it to his grandfather. Make his stepsister a legion regent. Let him stay with his family, but instead of Arcery, give the regency to his stepsister Adeline. They've grown up together and she's old enough for the responsibility. She doesn't have a title of her own and is more likely to be loyal to Athalia's interests. Clever compromise. Thank you. Anyways, visit tomb. I'm going to, I guess, finish logistics since lots of skills learned about how to become an effective military leader. There's a woman here, Shashi. She's a musician and which is the crown's patronage, which means money. Your Royal Highness, if you accept me as a member of your court, I'll immortalize you in a word and song. I've dabbled in musical styles from many countries and even entertain you guests and lighten your evenings. I wonder if she also writes naughty poetry. Musicians are often used as secret agents and messengers. They can be useful and dangerous. The musician sings a little ditty and demonstrates her skills with a lute. It's okay, but nothing special. That might mean she might have other talents. Test her for secret skills. Are you familiar with the traditions of many locations? Yes, you can perform accents. I'm again. What about juggling? I can keep a set of dangers in the air. Interesting. I look forward to all you have to tell me. We'll have to talk privately to see how much she knows, but I think she might be useful. Doctor. Your Highness, thank you again for the opportunity. Yes. Now what have you heard on your travels? What are the other people saying about me? I haven't had a chance to play at many noble courts, although I intend to. You're already popular with the common folk of Nova. They put their trust in you. Of course, with me at your side, your popularity can only increase. Never underestimate the power of music. Interesting. Well, I guess for now... I'm going to document and voice, I guess, finish off these two just to be done with them. Nothing more to learn about decoration and nothing more to learn about voice. You received a letter from young Lord Arier. It's a bit messy and hard to read, but it seems to be thanking you for letting him stay with the family he knows. Nice. I guess I'll first lean. If you attack an enemy lumen and you win, they leave behind a crystal. Is it possible to combine that crystal with mine to make it stronger? Each lumen can only hold one crystal. The way to combine their magic is if a living wielder chooses to join its power with another. Oh, so I destroy other crystals to stop anyone from using them against me. That is a traditional policy, but it is a lie. Lumen crystals cannot be destroyed. Rulers claim otherwise to discourage thieves from seeking dangerous treasures. What am I supposed to deal with a crystal, then? Guard it, or hide it, or give it to another hand to wield. But if the last holders of the crystal was an enemy, the residents of the crystal will work against you. It would be attuned to the personality as foolish or violent or scheming as Lumini defeated. So anyone taking the new crystal would probably become a new enemy. That's useless. A weak-willed candidate might be acceptable to the crystal and yet still be controllable. You can then steer that lumen away from dangerous paths, making an ally or changing the crystal's residence. It is, however, a dangerous endeavor and one that requires incomplete attention. Not really a project I can work with while I'm so busy studying for my coronation. Wait, in the past, all dukes and duchesses of Nova were lumens. Did your crystal come from one of the old ducal lineages? By my mother's words, our crystal was once the treasure of Duchess Mambaran. After the Doom's shadow fell, it was given to a temple to guard. From there, it was passed from keeping of a priest trained in scrying, and from him to his daughters. Passed down in secret, but what happened to the rest of them? Interesting. Very, very interesting as well. I guess I'll do some intrigue for internal affairs and foreign intelligence. Lots of different skills to keep in mind. Regents report a buildup of military strength, particularly warships in Chantera, the major power across the ocean to the west. They may be intending to go on for the attack. It's been growing quite larger in recent years. Shadia lies a great distance from Nova. You have few diplomatic ties and no known conflicts. No reason to assume that you would be their target. Still, if they send a fleet across the ocean, Nova might be in danger. At the very least, shipping would be disrupted. It would be a disaster to the Novan economy. We have to keep the shipping lanes clear. It would take time to assemble worldly vessels. If you had advance warning, you could make your own preparations to defend your coast. Downside, it won't come cheap. Build more warships. You send the assembly of new ships and the strengthening of weaponry and cladding of the existing fleet. If trouble comes, you'll be ready for it. Attending service. I guess I'll just do the same classes. Yeah, obviously if you want to take a second to read all of these, you can. I'm not going to because it's a lot to read. What a beautiful day. It's nice to stop and breathe sometimes. Guess... visit this home. What's my mood? I'm very willful right now. I should probably do ciphering as my next skill, just to max that out. For codes. My lady, there are letters for you. Another letter from Bernie. Why does she keep writing to me? We were never even friends. She says she's born lonely and she's looking forward to seeing me at Gwendolyn's birthday party. That's right, Gwendolyn's about to turn 15. She'll be the Duchess of Surly for real now. This other letter must be an invitation for her next birthday celebration next week. Glenn and I know we're friends at school, and this will be a big event, but it's also a long way to travel. A lot of things can happen on the road. Go to the party. I think that'll be nice. It'd be good to see my friends. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna train in weapons. If there's gonna be a war, might as well be prepared. I'll practice in swords. 'Cause I feel like that's probably a good skill to start with. Gwendolyn's party is lovely. Not as near as glamorous as your own upcoming birthday party would be, of course, but still a major event on the old noble social calendar. Everyone who is anyone is present. Uncle Laurent and Auntie Lucille are here, along with 3 of their children. Charlotte rushes over eagerly to see you. Hi, Lottie, guess what? Hi, Lottie, what is it? Mommy says after the coronation I can come to stay at the castle with you, and we can talk about, magic! Why is there this question mark? Oh, you can actually see their different skill things. That's great. So then, yeah, that's cool. However, it seems that the Templar nobles are not equal to converse with the Countess Mix and her family. The position of Lumen Minister made me damaging Aunt Lucille's social caveats. There are refreshments and dancers and musicians and polite conversation, and 1 or 2 not so polite will not be shoved aside. Mother, it's my domain, Anne. I need space for myself, and you have your own lands to manage. Just because you're of age doesn't mean you know everything, young lady. You need my advice. This is my home, and it's never been yours. Before you can back away, their gaze falls upon you. They wait expectantly for you as a new queen to settle their disputes. Everyone could easily hurt on either side here. It's important that everyone involved saves face. Side with Gwendolyn. You heard her. She's an adult now. She's in charge here. Thank you. Is that your father's will of face upon your coronation? Cast aside without another word. He's not gonna like hearing that, is he? A bit later, Bryony catches up with you. Hello, Nini. It's wonderful that you're going to be queen now. I mean, I'm sorry about your mother. Thanks. But I think it's opportunities you're going to have. You're so lucky. That's an odd way of pulling on it. Anyways, I was wondering, now that you're almost queen and everything, have they told you about all the secrets? What secrets? Like how to get to the old palace. I heard it's packed full of treasure. You mean the old capital by Catherine Lake, the abandoned one? Exactly. They had to leave in a hurry, so they left all kinds of treasures behind. Nobody ever goes there because the forest is supposed to be haunted, so the treasure's probably still there. The forest isn't just haunted, it's full of monsters like a Keithong. But what if she's right and it's full of ancient treasure? Tattled to her parents. You nod and smile politely. Then as soon as Bernie isn't looking, you report on her scheme to her mother, the Duchess of Mead. Her mother is very grateful for the warning. Hopefully Bernie will be safe now. At the end, you share a pleasant meal and prepare to return to various lands. I'm just so willful. Yeah, I guess I'll do some archery as well. It's not much, but hey, at least it's getting me somewhere. Noticed that you were looking over some military records the other day. I was just checking to see how many soldiers we had available. If you're desperate to recruit more fighters, you could offer pardons to criminals in exchange for service. Be careful, though. Some of them are dangerous and unreliable. That's why they were in prison to begin with. Recruit soldiers from prison. Alright, let's do that. Criminals probably know how to fight very well. Let's visit the prison. You sneak down the castle dungeons and amuse yourself by poking at the locked-up presents with sticks. Poor fools. This is definitely going to be quite an interesting thing. So, I guess I'll do pole arms as well. Just so I'm jack of all trades of combat as well. My lady, you have a letter. To Brinny, and she's not happy with me, but at least she's okay. Yeah, not surprising. Yeah, I guess I'll just finish off sword and archery just to have those done. As you're walking through the great hall, a freak gust of wind suddenly blows out all the candles in the room. An omen of war and danger. Must be sure that they're going to attack. Dun, dun, dun. Watch prey animals be captured and killed, but it helps your own problems perspective. You're less afraid, but a bit more sad. I guess I'll do, since I feel like herbs might be useful to have. Okay, yeah, I think medicine, first aid, and poison, I think, would probably be useful. Things have been so unsettled lately. Everyone's been on edge. We need something cheerful. Could hold a tournament. What a good idea. Knights, jostling, museums, all sorts of competition, and everyone loves a contest. What will you offer a prize to the winners? Employment. The winners will have an option of taking up royal appointments. It's a recruitment drive. Very well. I'll draft the announcements. You leave him to his work. Definitely want to do battlefield medicine as well. Ah, so close to finishing that off. Okay. This is the week of the general tournament. Nobles and commoners alike have turned to compete against each other. The people will be pleased if you participate in the games. However, expose you to danger. What part do you take in? I'll do falconry. Only nobles take part in falconry competitions, of course. The commoners who fly such birds do under nobles aegis. You are far too new to the sport to be in competition for a prize, but it's a pleasant learning experience, and your fellow competitions are pleased by your interest and enthusiasm. All the winners are announced and plays with great cheers, as Nia Queenie plays flower garlands around their neck. Which is quite nice. Pay your respects to your mother's tomb, and you wonder if the same fate is waiting for you. I guess I'll do some tomb medicine. Or herbs, I guess, because I didn't do herbs before. So max those out to max out herbs. My lady, your father wishes to speak to you. Says it's urgent. Fine, I'm coming. You find your father standing over a map of the coastline, his face grave. Ships have been sighted near the approach from Shuja. Not trade ships, this is a war fleet. I've been expecting something like that. Within the week, they will be within Novian waters. Within 2, they could reach the capital. Then we will fight to defend ourselves. You can try and use the treasury fund to hire additional soldiers, but it may be difficult on short notice. Yeah, I'm gonna recruit soldiers. Fine, we'll do that. We'll need to draw up the naval strategy for our ships to carry out. You could choose to act as admiral and lead the fleet in person, but the danger would be very great. Unless you think your personal skills will make the difference, I would strongly advise against it. I'm going to direct the fleet. That's my risk to take. You have your mother's heart. There's one more thing. I hesitate to ask, but an invasion. This may be the sort of disaster for which illumined power may be worth the cost. If the fleet could be destroyed before they reach our waters, many lives would be saved. I don't know any magic that could sink a whole fleet. I'll have to talk to my mentor. Track down the priestess Lena in the central grove. A fleet full of Shamjada. I must search for them. She brings out a black bowl filled with water and stares into the depths. Suddenly the water explodes out of the bowl and shatters droplets. There is one among them with the lumen's power and much strength. Of course, the King Shaja is a lumen. It requires a great force to overpower that protection and destroy the entire fleet without endangering Nova. At least 3 or 4 lumens acting in cohorts. In cohorts? If you truly will, you can give up your control of your power to another for a time. This was the most devastating power of the Novian rules, all for the Nobles' house combined. The cost for such power can be high. All involved may perish. You, me, and Aunt Lucille, is that enough? It may be, it may not be. Are you willing to take that risk? Oh, yes. This is what I was born for. I say we do it. Then bring your aunt and we'll train together. That is going to be very risky. I'm going to change my outfit to the boost my lumen. Just because I feel like that's going to be very important right now. I think it's probably my best bet because it might. Actually, my outfit's actually not going to even do anything. I guess need. Read history. Danger on the high seas. You and your 2 fellow lumens join hands and focus your powers. Your magical training is paid off by allowing you to stage your attempt at a safe distance at the invading vessels of war. Far at the distance you hear the road of oceans, and you have charred as buckles beneath your incoming ships, opening up a maw void in which they tumble in helplessly. Then as they fall, the water rushes back in around them, washing over the decks and plumbing holes. Even from so far away you can see the disturbance you have made rippling through the waters. Some of the Shajas may survive, but their threat and invasion has ended. That is really convenient. Let's see here. Guess I'll do reflexes, I guess. Athletics. No, agility and reflexes. Magical storms you summon create giant waves of ships swept inland as well as out. Damages have been reported along the shoreline from Mabzorian down to the North Marie. The beaches are covered in wrack and the bodies of animals, and many fishers' cocklers are missing. Are you blaming me? Of course not. Many more lives would have been lost if the fleet had landed. What worries me is that these reports are increasing, even long after the events of the battle. More than that, an observatory in Calaris has seen strange shapes in the sea of the west. Something worse than a simple storm may have been unleashed. Does that mean a sea monster? Oh no! Whatever will we do? Guess let's do flexibility. Oh no, whatever will we do? In the Grand Hall, your father is waiting for you. Fears have realized a kraken has risen. A kraken? An enormous tentacle sea monster which can dive and surface at will. It is fast, voracious, and apparently unkillable. Any ship that ventures into its range is at risk. This could destroy Nova's shipping. Ocean shipping is really important to our economy. What can we do? Do you just wait and hope it goes away? No. Quite unexpectedly, the priestess strides into the room. What are you doing here? I came to bring the records of the circle so that you know what you're to fear. Left alone, the beast will feed until the seas run red, and only then will it sleep. It costs hundreds and thousands of lives. There's only 2 ways to end its threat. Lumen spell weaving can freeze a kraken in its tracks, holding it motionless only for a short time. If the spell is renewed every moon, giving the beast no time between casting and move freely, it eventually should sleep. How long would that take? Approximately 7 years. Years. But if at any point the spell cast is too weak or not renewed in time, it would break loose. And the treasure would be drained keeping such a routine. What is the other way? It is well known that the Eldritch Beast can be driven out by sacrifice. The life force of a lumen or potential lumen on the cusp of adulthood would be an ideal choice. No, you will not take my daughter. You see, Aileen, this is why I told you to reject them. They are all witches. Even without her mother's crystal, she would still have been a potential lumen. Keeping her ignorant would not have kept her safe. A potential lumen because my mother's daughter, which means Charlotte too, but I could never hurt my favorite cousin. I will not allow this. The choice belongs to the queen. Me. Let's try and seal it. We'll have to do our best to seal the Kraken away no matter how long it takes. After all, this isn't what magic is for, to defend the world from darkness. I will teach you the necessary spells. You must arrange for the transportation. Very well. Visit the treasury. 643 gold lasting 54. This is definitely gonna not be good, but we're doing the best that we can. Nothing more to learn about dance. Visitors have arrived to help you preparing for the upcoming festivities with your family. Good day to you, niece. I hope all is well. Hi, Lottie. Mommy says you have to take all the best tutors and I should take classes with you. Great. Time has slipped by so quickly. Only 2 weeks remain before your birthday celebration and official coronation as queen. Have you done enough to build a stable Nova Inn? The first of your soon-to-be regular voyagers is now set off with Celine on board. She appears to have some special affinity with seawater, which makes her the best choice to have guide the vessel, which hunts for the elusive beast. After all, you have to find it before you can enchant it. It is traditional for the palace to provide entertainment and refreshments for the commonplace with a new monarch's crowned. It is a rare opportunity for the poor of the land to dine like nobles. The size and scope of any feast depends on what expenses the royal treasury is willing to bear. Respectable feasts. I'm sure we can afford to give everyone in the city some bread and sausages and a bit of cake. Visit Charlotte. Hi, Lottie. Hi. What's the matter? Now that she's a minister, Mommy's been telling me more about lumens. She wants me to learn about magic so I can be one when I'm older. But she says I need a crystal, and the only way to get one is when she dies or when you die. I don't want to be a lumen anymore. Don't worry, you're gonna live a very long time. Really? I promise. Guess I'll do reflexes and flexibility, I guess. Just to max those out. The castle is buzzing with preparations for your upcoming coronation. Ministers press you with details for your favorite colors and flowers and so on. You're happy to collaborate with the designers to ensure that you are shown off to your best possible effect. You're still young, after all. Good design will help a lot in making you look like a queen. Others are more interested in the subject of your marriage. Whomever you decide to marry will be elevated to the highest ranks of nobility, which could mean a major shift in the balance of power. Therefore, everyone is talking about the top candidates, even though you're under no obligation to marry so young. Terrace, the Duke of Siena, is one option. Certainly expressed interest in marrying you earlier. Union would bring stronger ties to the domain of Taliesin and improve the situation along the Lethean border. Then there's Baron, the Duke of Marine, a powerful and eligible noble, only about 10 years older than you. There's Linley from King Lul, who danced with the gala. He's only 2 years older for you and a nice fellow. He's not the official heir to King Troll. His father has so far refused to name one, waiting to see which of his children is the most talented and dedicated to the duchy. But whichever he inherits it or not, he'll be at least have strong ties to that region. There's Kevin, the Earl of Lowe. Although he's only an earl, his family's connections can make him politically useful. Then there's Little Adair, the eventual Duke of Leith, although he's 12 and still only a child. He's at least almost old enough to understand the concept of romance. Some people think he ought to marry Gwendolyn's half-brother, Ancient, who hasn't even turned 9 yet. There are 2 or 3 minor earls around the age of 20 who might be passable for alternatives, and of course you could decide to ignore noble traditions entirely and marry a commoner, if you're prepared to deal with the uproar. Well, you need to marry eventually. You're still very young. You could put this decision off until later. However, a clear succession contributes to the stability of your domain. Are you leaning toward any opinion? I feel like, was it I think Lingley. There's no time to pursue that thought at the moment, perhaps in the future. guess I will do public speaking as my last. Conversation, court manners, and public speaking, just so I have a little bit of everything. At this time last year, you were celebrating your 14th birthday. You were in the school garden surrounded by your friends. A teacher brought you tea and cakes, while a wealthy merchant's son wove a crown of flowers for your head. It didn't matter much that you were a princess then. Your title was something for the future. Many of your peers would be duchess or earls, or like someday, or the like someday, but not then. You were children. Your parents could not attend on the actual day, but they did send wonderful gifts, some for you and some for you to share. And a week later, they came for visits, and your mother took you through the countryside on a splendid carriage. It was the last time you'd ever see her. You wonder if wherever she is, you can see her now. You are 15 years old, a legal adult. You have worked and studied and suffered and prepared, and now the time has come. You kneel before the priestess, barely hearing the words as she recites the blessings. She calls upon the gods to deliver peace, wisdom, and prosperity for you and through you to all of Nova, and then she calls upon you for the oath of rulership. Will you guide and govern and protect your people to the best of your ability according to law and customs? I will. Will you, to the best of your power, uphold the ideals of love, honor, justice, and mercy? I will. Lords and ladies assembled, I present to you your undoubted queen, who has sworn her ear to your loyalty. You who have come to give her homage, will you do the same? One at a time, the head of each duchess approaches your throne and kneels to swear his or her service to you and your heirs. People of Nova, I give you Alida, daughter of Vilia, your true sovereign. What say you all? Long live the queen! Long live the queen! Long live the queen! Thank you, I will. And we have succeeded. Once his daughter was succeeded on her throne, Jocelyn returned to her birthplace to focus on the duties of Duca Claris. He was pursued by many women, but showed little interest in remarrying, directing them instead to his brother, Duca Manza. As Lumen Minister, Lucia requisitioned the orange crystal that Leon had taken from the dead criminal and offered it to her daughter. However, Charlotte was not able to activate the crystal's power. The young queen pointed out the crazed murderer would obviously have a very different resonance than her favorite cousin. Charlotte would have to wait to inherit her mother's magic. The queen and her trusted lumens sailed out every week to check on the conditions of the Kraken and reinforce the seals. It was inevitable that the others would discover their secret and blame them for it. After all, the old Novidian capital had been rendered inhabitable by monstrous lumen experience. Tentacle beast from the deep was just more of the same. The Novian people were not the only ones to notice the increase of naval traffic to the frequent absences of the young human queen. Pirates from the Orcas stepped up their raids in the area, hoping to take Leon hostage and ransom for the fortune. The queen was forced to engage in an even larger naval escort to make the regular trips to the binding sites, and the Novan economy struggled under the burn. Although Aline proposed the marriage to Lingley of Cleandal, who accepted. Lingley was studious and gentle soul, who treated the queen like a valuable manuscript, careful never to smudge or tear her. Sometimes that protectiveness frustrated Alina, but other times it was good to feel cherished. Over the years, Lingley and Lean became the parents of 4 children. Not nearly as large as Lingley's own family, but certainly enough to go around. The invention of the printing press sparked the beginning of a new age of literacy and knowledge. No longer were books the sole preserve of the noble and wealthy. Now information ideas could be easily passed from place to another. As the birthplace of this invention, Nova was the center storm of the change. The new hospital, funded by Clean Lean, offered medical services to the common people, but most importantly, allowed doctors and herbalists to come together and share information. Trading knowledge increased skill levels and made even better care available to all. Even those specialists who catered directly to the elite were benefited by offering their service long enough to learn. That information could also be collected in books and sent around the world. Nova might not benefit directly, but thousands of lives would be saved. Aline's interest in trade and economics led her to treat the country and management as something of a game, and game she was very good at. Why waste lives conquering when you can dominate by natural superiority? Her manipulation increased Novian's ties with its neighbors and raised the standard of living for all its citizens, and thus Queen Aline's legacy stretched into the future. Huzzah! We managed to do quite well. And you can see the different skills along with the epilogues as well, which is quite nice. But at that, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your lives. May the stars forever guide your path wherever it might lead you into the future. Bye-bye, everybody, and hope to see you guys again soon.